everybody, welcome back to Learn Something from Everything. Hopefully you enjoyed my new intro graphics. I'm like a professional YouTuber now, so no big deal, don't treat me any different, but I'm pretty excited. For my first real challenge, I figured I would take on the infamous Madam Web.
What do you want from me? Why do you care for me? Why do you know?
Now, to be honest with you, my wife and I were excited when this was coming to Netflix because we're like, oh my God, we're gonna hate watch this. So we got some drinks, we got some ice cream, and as soon as it came on Netflix, we turned it on. And we literally got 15 minutes into the movie before we're like, are you having fun? And she's like, no, are you having fun? No, neither of us were having fun, so we just shut it off. So I went back and I actually watched this movie twice. And I did find 5 things that I really enjoyed. So we'll start with what is probably the best thing about Madam Web, in my opinion, and that is the small stakes. There are 4 people's lives on the line. There is no universe-ending calamity going on. And I have been an advocate for small superhero movies for a long time. This is why you're getting this fatigue, because it's like every new movie, the universe has to end, but in a more terrible way. And how do you keep upping that? The idea with the sequel is not to make it bigger. Sometimes you need to make sequels smaller. So recently, I just went to the movies to watch Deadpool vs. Wolverine, and I think that's a perfect example. While I loved the movie, it was super fun. Objectively, I don't think it's a great movie. I think Deadpool 1 is actually way better. And the reason for that is because they had a tighter budget. They needed to make sure every scene counted. They couldn't rely on CGI or cameos or anything like that. Everything had to be tight and well thought out. And when you get these inflated budgets, it does encourage people to be lazy. Now, Deadpool Wolverine had the writer's strike. There were other things going on, and it's not terrible by any means, but I think it lacked the heart that a smaller Deadpool and Wolverine road trip movie would have had, rather than this big, like, all the universes are going to end kind of stakes. I thought it would have been way cooler that way, just to see the interplay between the characters, even if it meant losing some of those cool cameos. So the second thing I really loved about Madam Web was the final fight scene. The physics and damage capabilities of fireworks aside, I thought it was a cool environment to showcase the main hero's powers. So you have this environment that's totally chaotic, and because she can see the future, she's the only one who can kind of make sense of what's going on. And even this villain with superpowers can't kind of keep up with everything that's going on. So it was a really cool way to kind of showcase her powers, even though fireworks can't blow a hole in a wall. Whatever, it's a superhero movie. But I thought it was very cool. The third thing I loved about Madam Web, even though it got a lot of flack for it, they actually took lines out of the movie because they got so much shit for putting them in the trailer, was the dialogue's not all bad.
You leave your junk mail in the lobby and then everybody else has to clean it up for you.
Okay, well, there should be a recycling bin there.
You don't think this is weird? That we both know you?
It's honestly like the least weird thing that's happened all day.
Like, there are some pretty good scenes, some pretty funny jokes that I really enjoyed, and I think it's that baby with the bathwater. Once a movie reaches a certain point of badness, every line in the movie becomes bad, and you just can't enjoy it. But if you really take it apart scene by scene, there are scenes in that movie that work. I heard this went through a lot of rewrites. It would be interesting to see if the original director or writer's vision, if it had a more cohesive story. Maybe there were some more complexities in the original script. So you could see that there is some talent there behind the writing, and sometimes this filming by committee just really screws things up. The fourth thing I actually really loved about Madam Web was the depiction of her powers. I thought it was very disorienting. It was a very good way to bring the audience into what she is feeling, which, you can kind of follow Spider-Man swinging through the streets and kind of get a sense of, what his powers are like and what it's like to be him. But I feel like these powers were almost more of a curse, and the audience felt that, and that the way that they shot that and filmed that was pretty interesting. And the last thing I really enjoyed about Madam Web is some of the cinematography. Now, some of the editing was a little choppy. a little experimental, if you will, but I enjoy people taking risks. The cinematography too. I thought the coloring and grading was very nice, and there are some shots in there where I was pretty impressed. From having filmed movies in the past, I know how much effort goes into every single shot. The audience can't see it, but it's lighting, it's the actor's placement, it's the camera work. And a lot of thought was put into some of these shots that in a better movie probably would have stood out more. So those are the 5 things I think we can learn and grow from Madam Web that it really did well. So for the next episode, I think I'm going to subject myself to the 6 or 8 hours of Rebel Moon that is coming out, the director's cut. Now, I haven't seen a review on the director's cut. Maybe it's better, but apparently the original has gotten panned pretty hard. So I'm excited to look into this and try to find some really good storytelling buried in what, unfortunately, most think is a confuddled mess. But we will find it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.